Hello, thank you for watching this video. Today, what my friend knows, I would like to introduce you to my friend Johanna.
Hi.
Johanna,
hi.
please
Hi.
introduce yourself to my friend.
Hi, I'm Johanna Anderson, and I'm here with Jessica in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
What do you do?
Mainly from New York, California, and New York, and I'm an acupuncturist and herbalist.
Chinese
Practice
medicine.
Chinese medicine, yes, indeed. And I've been practicing for many, many years. So came here to Vietnam because my son lived here. And just fell in love with the place, really, and stayed because business was really good here. There weren't any other Western acupuncturists at the time.
And how long you been here?
About 5.5 years, but I first started coming 11 years ago.
Okay, wow.
So,
That's
kind of a little love affair.
a love affair, yes.
With the place.
Yes, with the place. And how did we meet?
Jessica and I met in book club here several years ago and discovered that we both have similar tastes in books. We love history, we love traveling. Jessica's the expert traveler. But we both have
I just travel more often.
A lot. We both have curious minds. And
True.
We're interested in a lot of different places and things, and that's how we met. And we just did a trip together.
Right.
To Northwest Vietnam.
Yeah, from Hanoi all the way to Dien Bien Phu.
Yes.
That's
and that started out because both of us, I think at one book club one night, both of us expressed interest that neither of us had been to Dien Bien Phu.
Yes, right.
And that's how the idea of the trip happened. So we had our trip start in Hanoi and end up in Dien Bien Phu, which was incredibly interesting.
Yes. And I want to talk about this. This is the symbol of our friendship.
Yes.
Because during that trip, we both keep looking for baskets.
A little obsession.
Yeah, right. So something like this is handmade and was done by the minority people in the northern Vietnam. So very beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. So I just want to know, how come you're so curious about things and why you love traveling?
Right. Well, I grew up with a traveling family. And I grew up in Europe mainly, and my mom still to this day at 97 is so curious, so wants to know things. So we'd be always on the weekends in the car, and she would be in the front seat with a big book on her lap, and she'd say, "We're going to Charlemagne's birthplace," and then she would read to us about Charlemagne, or we're going to find the oldest house in Germany, and she would take us on all these interesting trips. And my dad as well, he was a curious guy as well. He was part of the equation, but more I attribute it to my mom and her. She really instilled in us a real
the energies.
Yeah.
The open-minded to the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that curiosity and how much fun it is.
Yeah.
So that was great.
So that affect your all your life, yeah, in a way.
I've always been like that. I've never had. I've never put down strong roots anywhere.
Oh wow.
I'm really okay with pulling up roots and taking off.
Wow.
At any moment, because of a new adventure.
Wow. And does that make you the same mother like your mom to your kids?
I think so. Yeah, I would say so. But I always kind of had maybe a little worried that I was dragging my kids from pillar to post too much, and what effect that would have on them.
You got 3 kids,
I got 3 boys. Yeah.
3 boys.
3 boys.
So they must love it. Go around traveling with you.
And, they do. I mean, one child lives in the UK, and one child lives in Finland, and one child lives in New York City. So they're definitely global citizens. But, I did worry sometimes that, gosh, maybe they won't know how to form lasting friendships or things like that.
Yeah, there were research talk about when the kids growing up, if you change their residencies too often, they may actually lost some building capability with long-term friendship or something. But
There is
how do you
that.
find your kids in this?
Well, I think that they're fine, and I had an interesting reaffirmation, I guess you could say, or an affirmation with my youngest son when he was applying for Berkeley. He had to write an essay about who am I, you know, and who I am. And his was entitled, I'm an American Nomad. And he went on to list all the places he's been and where he lived and how many schools he went to. And then he said how fabulous that was, and it made him the interesting person that he is today. And, you know, he said a lot more, but I was like, oh, thank God.
Wow,
Thank
that's an
God.
affirmation. That's
Yeah,
really
I mean,
affirmation.
you know, that's his affirmation. I don't know about the other two as much, but, you know, that's how I raise my kids, and that's how I lead my life. Because I always think there's something else interesting to learn. You know?
So tell me, if you're so curious about life, so tell me what's your most favorite things to do in Ho Chi Minh City?
My favorite things to do in Ho Chi Minh City. Well, I have a lot of favorite things to do here, but one of my favorite things is going to Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Yeah, Cholan.
So this District 5.
District 5 Cholan, yeah. And they have a really interesting Chinatown here. I mean, it's absolutely gritty, and it's not like a New York or San Francisco Chinatown. It's like the real down and dirty Chinatown. And so
Dirty.
yeah, it is. And so over the years, I've made some headway. Initially, when I first started going by my herbs there, these old fellows wouldn't even talk to me. In fact, they would just go, you know, go away.
Oh.
So I kept persisting, and then over the years,
So you went into those
Yeah.
big
bags
Chinese
of herbs
herb
and, like,
shops?
dark and, you know, little warrens of things hanging
Alleys.
off the ceiling.
Oh, okay. So in
Yeah.
the old houses of these
Yes.
merchants of
No.
the herbs.
Mainly street shops.
Street shops.
Street
Oh.
shops, yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell they've been there forever and ever, and look like they are just would have been there exactly the same, you know, in China 5,000 years ago. So I finally gained the trust of a couple old herb sellers, and now I can go there and they treat me respectfully. They know that I know what I'm talking about, and they sell me herbs, and we have a great time. We have so much fun.
But do you speak English to them or Chinese?
No, they mostly speak Vietnamese now.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
they don't even speak Chinese.
So I have to translate because I only know the Chinese terms of the herbs.
Okay.
So I've actually put together quite a manual now
Oh.
of all the translations, because every time I go, I'll get a new translation. So they're in a big volume now. So now I can just go and point.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't know it in Chinese, they only know it in Vietnamese.
So this is like one of your like purchase trip to buy the herb for
my
your
patients.
patient.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
wow.
sure, yeah. And it's a big it's really an adventure. It's a lot of fun. So
Oh, wow.
it wouldn't happen in a lot of countries, I don't think. It's unique.
We have another guest, which is Johanna's cat, and I think she has something to say. No. Okay, so what I would like to know, or what you would like to share with my friend, is how did you decide to study Chinese medicine?
Well, a long time ago, I had a medical condition that was kind of lingering, and I'd been to a few doctors, and nobody had an idea about what to do. And and so I went to this old Chinese doctor, actually in San Francisco, and he got rid of this thing in one visit. So I was
Wow.
amazed. And then later on, soon after, when I moved to London, I became friends with a acupuncturist there, and she and I are still good friends to this day. And so she allowed me to be her not mirror, but her shadow. And I used to go in to her office whenever I could, because I had young children at those days. And I would shadow her around, and I just thought, as soon as my kids get a little bit older, this is what I'm going to do. And it was like nothing, I didn't have any second thoughts or any things. It was just like, this is what I'm going to do. This is it. So
wow,
that was, and I did. That's what I did. So
that's an easy way to find your beloved profession, and then up to this day, you love your job, isn't it?
Yeah, I do love it. But maybe that's the way it comes to people.
Yes.
Like maybe other people who have a love for their work, it came to them in such a way. I don't know.
Well, will you be able to use very simple English to explain what is Chinese medicine? What's
Not
the
really.
essence of the Chinese medicine?
Not really.
Because I'm a Chinese, and I actually know those herb or those special treatment.
Yeah, because we had conversations on our trip about herbs, and I go, yeah, I know that one.
Right.
I know that
But
one.
then, nowadays, the mainstream of medicine, science, it's all like hospitals, chemicals, pharmacies, or surgeries. And some of them are actually, some of them I don't believe that it's really something that with a healing, the power of healing. So I would like to,
Well,
share
it's kind of hard to put it in a nutshell, really, but I do like to combine Western and Eastern. I like to, make sure people get blood tests, and I like to know how to do that, and I know how to read tests. Those kind of, so I do combine the two.
Information about the situation,
basically,
the body.
Yeah, and so let's say if a person comes to me and has, I don't know what someone would come to me. Let's say a chest cough and a sore throat. Or let's say 6 people came to me with a chest cough and sore throat. All 6 of those people would be treated differently. Whereas if you went to, your doctor down the street, he'd go antibiotics, cough syrup.
Right. They just deal with the symptoms rather than the cause.
And so we deal with the root, and we deal with each person as an individual. So all 6 of those people would be treated in a totally different way.
Wow.
For their symptoms. And so that's kind of, and then of course the Chinese medicine goes with the meridian theories. We deal with the meridians, and we deal with heat and cold and damp and wind, and we have all kinds of different ways that we mix everything in. We read the tongue and the pulses. Yes. But it's very complicated, but also very simple.
So how many years you been practice?
I graduated in 2005. Yeah.
So 15 years.
16 almost.
16.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Long time.
American Chinese medicine doctor. So, any last word that you would like to say to my friend about COVID situations? Maybe from Chinese medicine doctor's advice, what you know, and you can give us some advice.
Oh, well, keep your immune system strong. That's my advice for everybody. Just
yes.
And don't.
Very true.
I'm not a worrier myself. I don't have. I'm just not a worrier. I try to keep in the present day. I try not to look ahead. It's hard to do, but I try
That's
not
interesting.
to worry.
You're not worried about the future.
Well, you can't control it, so why worry about it?
Well, this is very difficult. Be the moment.
It's so difficult.
This is like meditation.
It's
you
very
have to do
difficult.
practice for a long time to be able to do this.
And
How?
you know what? I think it's not. I'm not a. It's not like I have a practice on this. I think it's just my natural who I am. It's just.
Do you think that's something to do with your curiosity of your childhood, wandering around the world?
Possibly, because and my mother also. My mother doesn't stress or worry about anything at
That's
all.
why she can be, 97, still strong.
Yes, and so I think I got a little bit of that going, but I really don't worry. But in terms of COVID, it's just keep your immune system strong.
Yeah, and be curious.
Be curious.
Be in the moments.
Be in the moment.
Wow.
Don't stress on the past, and don't stress on the future, because it hasn't happened yet. We don't know.
True.
It hasn't happened. We don't know what
True.
change in a heartbeat. So.
Well, thank you,
Thank you,
Johanna.
Jessica.
Thank you. See you
Thank
next
you.
time. Bye bye.
Bye.